Hi, welcome back to another session on TCS Ninja. I'm Abhilash Verma, your aptitude trainer. Well, this video is all about the analysis of model paper 2. Well, if you have already taken mock test, it's well and good. If not, I suggest you to go back, take the test and watch this video. And the test link is given in the description down here. Well, the past two papers, that is the original mock test of the TCS and the model paper 1 are very similar to each other. But whereas this paper is completely based on the previous year TCS test papers. So now the questions are slightly higher compared to the first two papers what we have solved. So let us not waste more time and start with the solutions. Well, we have our first question here. For two exams, 100 students appeared, and in that 60 passed in the first, 50 the second, and 30 both the exams. Find the probability that a student selected at random failed in both the examinations. Well, if you observe, the question is based on probability, but slightly blended with set theory as well. So you need to find the probability of a candidate selected belonging to the category where he failed in both the exams, right? So first we need to find totally how many students have failed both the exams. Okay, so let us consider two exams as exam A and the other one is exam B. Okay, we know that 60 students passed the first one. So A, 60 students passed. B, 50 students passed. Whereas 30 both the exams. Now guys, 30 students have passed both the exams means out of these 60, 30 are here. So this part, the students who have passed in only the first exam are 30. And again, totally 50 students cleared the second exam, of which 30 are here. It means the remaining 20 will be here. So these are the total number of students who passed only second exam. Okay. Now if we count all of them, 30 plus 30, 60 plus 20. Altogether, they are 80. Now these 80 students have passed either A or B or both. Now total students are 100, out of which 80 cleared one of the two exams. It means remaining 20 students failed in both the exams. Now we got what we required. Now we know how to calculate the probability. Probability is the number of favorable cases divided by total cases. Now, probability, favorable case. Now you are selecting one student. That student must have failed in both the exams. Totally 20 students failed in both the exams. We need one out of them. That is 20C1 divided by. Total students 100 are there. So you're picking 1 out of 100, 100C1. So which should give us 20 by 100. Remember, NC1 is always equal to 1. Okay. So here 20C1 is nothing but 20. 100C1 is nothing but 100. So we should get 1 by 5 as our final answer. Your option number D. I'm so sorry. NC1 is nothing but N. Okay. So that's why we get 20C1 is 20. 100C1 is 100. Moving ahead, our question number 2. There are 10 points on a straight line AB and 8 on another straight line AC. None of them being point A. Okay. How many triangles can be formed with these points as vertices? Understand this. The question is actually based on permutations. Now he's asking us to form the number of triangles. Well, we have one straight line AB. Okay. We have, 8B, right? So let us make it as a straight line. Now, so totally there are 10 points on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is another straight line AC. Okay. Now, On this we have exactly 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Guys, remember, if you want to make a triangle, you need exactly 3 points, right? Now if you see, I can take 2 points from the first line and 1 point from the second line. This will give me one triangle. Or it can be done in other way around as well. I can take 2 lines from the second line, 2 points from the second line and 1 point from the first line. Okay, now let us see. First case, case 1. Case 1. Guys, from the first line we need 2 points. Totally how many points are there? 10 points, out of which we need to select any 2. So that can be done in 10C2 ways. And means multiplication. We need 1 point from the second line. Totally 8 are there, I need 1. 8C1. Okay, or case 2. Or means addition here. We can take 1 point from the first line and 2 points from the second line. So totally 10 points are there, we need to select one, that is 10C1, and from the second line we need to select exactly 2 points, that is 8C2, selecting 2 points out of 8C2. Now 10C2 is a 10 into 9 divided by 2, that is 45, into 8C1 is 8, plus 10C1 is 10, we have seen that nC1 is always n, into 8C2 is 8 into 7 divided by 2, that should give us 28. Okay, so if you multiply and add, we should get 320 plus 40, 360 plus 280. If you add both of them, the answer must be 640, and that has to be our final answer. Our question number 3 is based on HCF and LCM, and again, which belongs to number system. Well, I've been telling you since from the beginning, number system plays a very major role in TCS, guys. Okay, so looking at the question we have, find the greatest number that will divide 148, 246 and 623, leaving a remainder 4, 6 and 11 respectively. Okay, so what can be done here? Guys, 148, 246 and 623 must be divided with certain number. Okay, when that number divides all these 3 numbers, they give reminders as 4, 6 and 11 respectively. Now observe that. I can write the question as something like this. 148 divided by some number x. It should give us reminder 4. Okay. And 246 divided by same number x. It should give us a reminder 6. And the last one, 246 divided with the same number x should give us a reminder of 11. Agree? Now guys, observe carefully. What do we have here? Look, when this number is divided by x, it should give a reminder 4. So if I subtract that 4 from 148, that should be completely divisible by x. Agree? Because when I divide 148 with the x, the extra part left over is 4, which we call it as reminder. Now if we remove that extra part from the 148, that must be completely divisible by x. So if I remove that one, we'll get 144. Okay. Likewise here, if you see, when 246 is divided with x, we should get a reminder of 6. So it means this is the extra part in this number. If I remove this 6 from 246, that should be divisible by x. So that is 240. And the last one, 11, when subtracted from the 246, it should be completely divisible by x because 11 is the remainder. So that should become 235. Well guys, if you observe, now all these numbers must be divisible by x. Okay, so when these numbers are divided with the x, now they should give a remainder of 0. Agree? Now find the greatest number. So we need the x value to be greatest, so that when all these numbers are divided with the x, we should get a reminder 0. which means the greatest number that can divide all these three numbers is HCF of all three numbers. Okay, now let us see what is the HCF. Guys, this one, I can write it as 16 into 9. Let us factorize first. 16 into 9. And this one, 24 into 10. And this one, I can divide with this 5. 5 into 47. Okay, 5 into 47. Now, everything right? I subtracted, that was 246. I'm so sorry guys, here the number is 623. I took it as 246 again, 623. Now when I subtract 623 from 11, what do I get here? I should get 612. So this is also, this is not this one, 612. Now 612 can be divided with 4, and can it be divided with the 8? 8 7s, 56, 50. No, let us go with the 4. I can divide it with 4. 4 into 15, 153. Okay, so let us completely factorize. This is 2 power 4 into 3 square. Okay, now this is again 8 into 3. This is 8 into 3. And this is 2 into 5. Now if you observe, this is 2 cube. And this is 2. Altogether 2 power 4 into 3 power 1 into 5 power 1. So this is one way, people. Factorizing and finding the HCF is one way. I'll give you another method which can be done much faster way as well. Okay. Now, but this gives you the actual concept. That's why I'm teaching this as well. Now, 4 is 2 square into 153 is 17 into 9. Right. Now, this is 2 square into 3 square into 17. Now we have the complete factorized form. Let me write it here one more time. Complete factorized form of all the three numbers. Now if you want to calculate the HCF of all these numbers, you just have to take the common terms in all the three numbers. Now here 2 power 4 is there, here 2 square is there, here 2 power 4 here as well, but here only 2 square. So 2 square is common everywhere. I'll take 2 square into, here 3 square is there, here 3 power 1 is there, here 3 square is there. Now what is common? Only 3 power 1 in all the three numbers. That's it. Is there any other common number? No. So 4 into 3, 12 is our HCF. So 12 is the number which will divide all these numbers with the reminders 4, 6, 8. Okay. So this is one method, guys. Another method I would like to show you here. Here, instead of factorizing, you can use the differences to calculate the HCF. Even that will give you the same answer. How? Take the difference between these two numbers. What it should be? 56 plus 40, 114. Sorry, 56 plus 40, yes, 96. Difference between these two numbers is 96. Now take the difference between these two numbers. So that is 312 plus 60. 312 plus 60 is 372. Now take the HCF of these two numbers. Okay, how do we do that? Again, we can factorize this. This is 16 into 6, 96. This goes with 8. Can we divide this with the 8? Or we can divide with this 6. No, it is not divisible by 8. It is divisible by 6. It is divisible by 4. We can divide with this 12. So this becomes 12 into 3, 36. And again 12 into 1. Now if you observe this one, instead of 16 into 6, let me write it as in another way, 12 into 8, 96. Okay, if you observe what is the common term between them, only 12 is the common term and 12 is the HCF, people. As simple as that. Rather than factorizing the entire number, you can just take the two differences between the numbers and find the HCF of these two. That will also give exactly the same answer. Another question we have based on averages. What do we have here? A mother, her little daughter and her just born infant boy together stood on a weighing machine which shows 74 kg. So three people are there: mother, her daughter and her infant boy, okay, son. Together they weighed 74 kg. Let me consider mother's weight as M, daughter's weight as D, or let me call it as little girl, and son as S. Now together, when they stood on the weighing machine, they weighed exactly 74 kgs. Now, how much does daughter weigh? We need to find daughter's weight. If the mother weighs 46 kg more than combined weight of daughter and the infant. Okay, mother weighs 46 kg more than the weight of daughter and the infant. So we can write mother is equals to weight of daughter, the girl, and the son plus extra 46 kg. 46 kg more than weight of daughter and the son. Okay, now what else we have? And the infant weighs 60% less than the daughter. Infant weighs 60% less than the daughter, means infant is, that is son. Son is equals to 60% less than the girl. That means he will be weighing exactly 40% of the girl. Okay. So what do we need to calculate? We need to find the weight of the girl. Now we can use this equation and this equation, including yes, this as well. We have to convert everything in terms of girl. That's when we get the answer, guys. Okay. Now observe. If I convert son is 40%, which is nothing but 0.4 of the girl. Now I can replace son with, in this equation, mother is equals to girl plus 0.4, here 0.4 girl in place of son. That becomes 1.4 girl plus 46. Okay. Now if we use the primary equation, what do we get? In mother's place, what can I write? 1.4g plus 46, 1.4g plus 46, plus we have g, plus again son can be written as 0.4g. Now all together must be equal to 74. So if you solve this final equation, if you see, everything is in terms of the girl, because we need the weight of the girl, right? So let us add everything. What do we have? 1.4 girl plus 0.4 girl is 1.8 girl, plus another 1 girl here, that is totally 2.8 girl. That is equals to, let us send 46 to the other side, so that should become 28. Okay, so 2.8 into 1, 2.8 into 10. So what is the weight of the girl? 10 kg. That must be our final answer. Find the number of ways a batsman can score double century only in 4s and 6s. Acha. It has to be in only 4s and 6s, guys. So first thing you must know here is how many maximum 4s can be scored and how many maximum 6s can be scored. Okay. Now guys, a totally 200 runs means if it has to be scored in 4s, divide with the 4, that you will get 50. So number of 4s must be less than or equal to 50. Okay. Now again, if you want 6s, 200 by 6, so that should give us 6 into 3 is 18, and again 20 left out. 6 into 3 is 18, again 2 left out. So maximum number of 6s can be scored is 33. Well, you have to check a trial and error method now, and then you have to find the pattern of two equations. So that is 4s and 6s. Okay, let us see that. Now here 4s and here 6s. Guys, if I use all the 4s, that is 50 4s maximum, that will give you 200 runs directly. So this is 0, but this is ruled out. Why it is ruled out? We have to use both 4s and 6s. So that's why here we are using only 4. So that's why this option is ruled out. Next, now you try to put 1 6 here. If you try to put 1 6 here, and 1 6 is 6 runs. 1 6 is 6 runs. Let me write it here, 6 runs. Now, how many 4s you have to do? Still how many? 6 runs means still you are left with 194. Okay. Now these 194 should be scored in 4s, but 194 is not divisible by 4s, right? So if you try to do this you should get it as 48 point something 5, but which is ruled out, right? We cannot take this method. Now, if I take 2 6s, what do I get? If I take 2 6s, in terms of 6s, you will get 12 runs. Now, still here 194, right? So, this is ruled out. Here, 2 6s means 12 runs. In terms of 4s, 188. Is it divisible by 4? Absolutely divisible by 4. So, that becomes 4 into 47. So, if I have 47, 2 6s, then I should have 47 4s. Likewise, so you cannot take in terms of 1s, it has to be in 2s and it has to be 4 6s. If it is 4 6s there, you should get 44 4s. Cross verify this as well. 4 6s is 24 runs. Out of 200, 24 are scored, means still it should be 176. When I divide this, I should get 44. Now we found a pattern. Now next it will be 6. This is increasing by 2. This is decreasing by 3. What do we get? 41 and so on. Till we should go, maximum number of 6s is 33, but we cannot use 33 because it has to be in even number. So this has to be 32. The highest number of 6s that we can score is 32. Okay. Now when you score 32 6s, what do we get here? 32 into 6 is 192. 32 into 6 is 192. Now remaining how many runs? 8 runs. It must be 2 4s. Okay. Now either you calculate this side pattern or this side pattern. From here onwards it started. 2 to 32. Only even numbers. 32 divided by 2. 32 divided by 2. Totally how many ways? 16 ways. That has to be our final answer. Well, slightly tricky question. It requires a little thought process, people. Well, this question we can call it as a miscellaneous question, or it can come under even the number system also. So, but probably this is a miscellaneous question. So, where you need a completely different thought process to understand, and you have to check the pattern, create the pattern and check totally how many possibilities are there. So, answer is 16 ways. Before continuing to the next question, if you haven't still subscribed for our YouTube channel, please do subscribe and even click the notification bell, guys, so that you will get the notification of every new video that we are uploading about the TCS. Okay, so let us continue with the question, guys. What do we have? Thomas takes 7 days to paint a house completely, whereas Raj would require 9 days to paint the same house completely. How many days will it take to paint the house if both of them work together? Very simple question here. We have two people, one is Thomas and the other one is Raj. Okay, Thomas and Raj. It says Thomas requires 7 days and Raj requires 9 days. So what is the time taken by them if they work together to paint the complete house? Okay. So first step is we assume the work people. So here I'll be using the LCM method and I will show you with the unitary method as well. Okay. Now work. Work, how do we assume? LCM of 7 and 9, which is the product itself because both are co-prime numbers. So 63 units is the work. Now speed of Thomas, speed is work by time, that is work is 63 units divided by time is 7. 63 by 7 is 9 units per day. Likewise, speed of Raj, 63 by 9 is 7 units per day. When they work together, Thomas and Raj, they will add 9 plus 7, that is 16 units per day. Now what is the time taken by them when they are working together? Time taken by Thomas and Raj. Time is work by speed. Whose speed? Both are working together means that is Thomas plus Raj. Now we know total work is 63 units and speed of Thomas and Raj is 16 units per day. Well, we cannot cancel it further. This has to be 63 by 16 days. Do we have the option? Yes. Okay. So that is one method, guys, which is we call it LCM method. Well, if you want to calculate in unitary method, that also can be done. So unitary method, speed of the Thomas is 1 by 7 and speed of, or we call it usually efficiency, right? So efficiency of Raj is 1 by 9. Both are same people, speed or efficiency. Okay. Now, together when they are working, they will do, Thomas is doing 1/7 of the work in a day, Raj is doing 1/9 of the work in a day. When they are working together, he will do 1/7 plus this guy do 1/9. So together, again 7 into 9, 63. Okay, so we'll get 9 plus 7, which is 16 by 63. So this is efficiency together. Okay, so in unitary method, we always assume work as 1, guys. That's why work by time speeds. So this is the totally speed or total efficiency of Raj and Thomas together. Then the number of days will be reciprocal of it, 63 by 16 days. Either way, you'll get the same answer, guys. But we use usually LCM method because it will be easier to understand rather than dealing with the fractions. If you deal with the integers, it will be much easier. Well, if you want, you can check our time and work videos by Praveen, where you'll get all the problems, all the different types of the problems, how we used LCM method to get the solutions, guys. So based on that, you can understand this method much better, and then you'll understand why it is so easy as well. Okay, moving ahead. So question number 7 is based on permutation and combination, that to forming numbers. How many positive integers can be formed which is less than 4300 and is formed from digits 0 to 4? Okay. 0 to 4 means I can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the 5 digits what we have. Now how many positive integers he told? Okay. It means we can form 1-digit numbers, 2-digit numbers, 3-digit numbers and 4-digit numbers. I cannot form 5-digit numbers because he told less than 4300. Now, he did not mention with repetition or without repetition. It means this question must be based on with repetition. Repetitions are allowed. Why? He did not mention anything. In those cases, repetitions are allowed. So, with the repetition. Now again, he did not even mention us how many digit number. It means he just told us positive integers means I can have 1-digit numbers, I can have 2-digit numbers, I can have 3-digit numbers, and I can have 4-digit number. Now this is gonna be slightly tricky, careful. Now 1-digit numbers I can make only 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Positive integers. We cannot include 0. So totally 4 numbers I can form. 4 positive integers. 2-digit number means there will be 2 places. Totally 5 digits are there, but I cannot use a 0 here. If I use a 0 here and I use some other number here, then that becomes 1-digit number. Okay, that is wrong. So I cannot use a 0 here. So remaining 1, 2, 3, 4, I can use any of the 4 digits. Now in this case, I can use 0 also. All the 5 digits are allowed. Repetitions are allowed. Though I used 1 digit here, same digit can be repeated here as well. So totally 5 digits are there. I'll get 5. 4 into 5 is 20. 20 numbers I can form. Now 3-digit number again. 3-digit number I cannot use a 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can use any of those 4 digits. Here I can use 0 and all the remaining 4 as well. Repetitions are allowed. I can fill it in 5 ways. This place also can be filled in 5 ways. What do we get? Exactly 100 numbers. We will get 100 numbers. Now, coming to this, what do we have? 4-digit number, you have to be careful here. You will get 2 different cases. Let me show you those. First, 4-digit number. Apart from 0, I can use any of the 4 digits, but I don't use 4. I'll tell you later why. I will use only 1, 2, 3. Okay. In another case, we will be dealing with only the numbers that are beginning with the 4. Why? Guys, observe, when I use 4 in the thousands place, I cannot use 3 here. Look, our maximum value is 299. 9 is not available. 244. This is the biggest number that we can form based on the digits available. Agree? So when I use 4 here, I cannot use 3 or 4 here again because that crosses 4300. So that's why I am using only 1, 2, 3 in the first case, and then for 4 alone separately. When I use 1 or 2 or 3 in the thousands place, it means numbers which are in the range of 1000, 2000 and 3000. I can fill it in 3 ways. When I use 1 or 2 or 3 here, all the 5 digits are allowed here. So what do we get? 5 ways. I can put 0, 1, 2 or 3 or 4. Right? Again, here also I can use all the 5 digits. Here also I can use all the 5 digits. What do we get? 125 into 3, that is 375. Okay. Now, in this case, when I use 4 here, it means I can fill it in only one way. Now here, I cannot use 3 or 4. Okay. So I can use only 0, 1, 2. Not more than that. So I can fill it in 3 ways. Now if you see, even if I use 4,200, now here you put anything, that will never cost 4,300. So I can fill it in all 5 ways, 5 ways. Okay. What do we get? 5 into 5, 25. 25 into 3 is 75. So this or this means plus. Altogether, we should get 450. Okay. Now, if you add all these numbers, we have 450 here, 100 here, 20 here, 24. That should give us 450 plus 100, 550, 550, 574. 574 is our final answer. Okay. So, my apologies, in the options, in the exam, we did not provide this. We provided 575. Okay. I'm so sorry. So like that was the question which was asked in the TCS paper, guys. But this is actually the right answer. 474 is the right answer. Sorry. Yeah, 574 is the right answer, but not 575. Our next question, which is based on time, speed and distance. We have a person travels from Chennai to Pondicherry in cycle at 7.5 km per hour. Another person travels the same distance in train at 30 km per hour and reaches 30 minutes earlier. Find the distance. Guys, we know distance is speed into time. Okay. Distance is a speed into time. But there are two people here. Let us call the first person as A and the second person as B. Distance is speed into time. The first person, he travels at 7.5 km per hour into time taken we do not know, let us call it as x hours. The second person, he travels at, again distance is speed into time, he travels at 30 km per hour into time taken. He reaches 30 minutes early, it means half an hour early. Here he took x minus x hours, means here he will be taking x minus half an hour. X minus half an hour. Okay. Now what do we get here? So if you see, we have, look, this is also distance and this is also distance. Both are same distance. Now, here we get 7.5x is equals to, this is 30 into x is 30x. Minus 30 into half is 15. Okay. I'll send this 15 to the other side here. And 7.5x, if I subtract from there, I'll get 22.5x. So we will get x equal to 22.5, 15 divided by 22.5. So that is how much? 5 into 3, 5 into 4.5. Okay. So finally x will get 3 divided by 4.5. Now we need distance. Distance is speed into time. Either you apply x value here or here, you should get the answer. So distance, speed, I am applying in the first case 7.5 into, this is speed, into time, 3 by 4.5. I can remove the decimal points, 1 in the numerator, 1 in the denominator, they get cancelled, or multiplying with the 10 on both numerator and denominator. So 3 into 1, 3 into 15, 15 into 1, 15 into 5. So what is the answer? 5 kilometers, and that must be our final answer. So we have another question on probability here. The question says, On a toss of 2 dice, A throws a total of 5. Then the probability that he will throw another 5 before he throws 7. Okay. So guys, understand the question. Look, totally he's throwing 5 and 7, two different sum. Now probability of getting 5. What is the probability of getting 5? That is 4 by 36. Guys, if you don't know how it is 4 by 36, please watch our probability basic videos. It is clearly explained that sum 5 means you can get it as 1, 4 or 2, 3 or 3, 2 and 4, 1. 4 different ways out of total 2 dice. 6 into 6, 36 cases total. The probability of getting sum as 5 is 4 different cases. Likewise 7. Probability of getting 7. 7 can be obtained as 1, 6, 2, 4, 2, 5, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 2, 6, 1. How many ways? 6 ways. So probability of getting 7 is 6 by total 36 cases. Now totally is getting 2 times, one is 5 and one other time is 7. So probability of getting 5 or 7 is 4 by 36 plus 6 by 36, which is equals to 10 by 36. Okay. Now totally is getting 5 or 7, 2 different. Now the question is, what are the chances that he is getting 5 before 7? 5 before 7. So it means 5 out of total 10. Okay. Now probability of getting is 5 is how much? 4 by 36. Out of total cases 5 or 7, that is 10 by 36. 36 get cancelled. We'll be having 4 by 10, which is nothing but 40% according to the options, and that must be our final answer. See, I wrote it as 5 by 10. If it is confusing, you can write it in this way. Probability of 5 over probability of 5 or 7. So then it is 4 by 36 divided by 10 by 36, which gives us 40%, and that has to be our final answer. So we have another interesting questions on calendar here, and I mean a question. So question number 10, it says, in 2003 there are 28 days in February and there are 365 days in the year. Obviously, it is a non-leap year. In 2004, which is a leap year, there are 29 days in February and there are 66 days in a year. If the date March 11, 2003 is Tuesday, then which one of the following would be the date March 11, 2004? Okay, very simple it is. Guys, he's talking about March 11, 2003. He told us this is Tuesday. Okay. Now he's asking about March 11, 2004. Which day? Very simple, guys. Look, exactly year 2 year, 1 year. Right? 1 year. But 366 days. Why? In between, there is February 29th in 2004. So totally 360 days, 66 days, 1 leap year. 1 leap year is nothing but 2 odd days. 2 odd days. Well, if you don't know what do you mean by 2 odd days are extra days left over after forming weeks. Observe here, 366 days divided by 7. How many weeks we can form? 7 into 5 is 36. 35, I'm sorry, 16 left out. Again 7 into 2 is 14. What is the remaining? 2 days. So 2 extra days are left out. We call them 2 odd days. Okay. So if it is 1 odd day, Tuesday plus 1, Wednesday. But here there are 2 odd days, that is Tuesday plus 2 days, that is Wednesday and Thursday. So here our answer should be directly Thursday. Well, if you watch the videos on calendar that we have given in our YouTube channel as well as website and as well as our learning app, you can solve this question within a matter of 2 seconds, people. The moment you know, because every normal year, non-leap year will have 1 odd day, leap year will have 2 odd days. Suppose I asked this question in this way. For example, let's say March 11, 2002 to March 11, 2003. Okay, here suppose if we use Tuesday, then here answer would have been directly Wednesday. Why? Here year to year exactly 1 year, non-leap year, 365 days. It means only 1 odd day. So it is 2 day means we'll add 1 extra day, that will become Wednesday. But since it is a leap year, 2 extra days we will get, 2 odd days. Tuesday plus 2 days, that is Thursday. Direct answer. So I suggest you once go through our calendars videos, people. You'll get the complete clarity about leap years, non-leap years, as well as odd days. How do we use odd days to solve problems based on calendars? Our next question once again is based on permutation and combination and forming numbers. How many 6-digit even numbers can be formed from digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so that the digit should not repeat and second to last digit is even? Okay. Guys, we have to form 6-digit numbers. So let me take 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Using the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 5, 6, 7. Now, well, we have a condition that we have to form even numbers. We have to form even numbers so that the digit should not repeat and the second to last digit is even. Acha. See, the digit cannot be repeated. The digit once used cannot be used again. Okay. Now observe. First thing, even number means the unit digit should be even. Which all the even digits we have? We have 2, 4, 6. Now another condition says that even the second last digit, that is tens place, should also be even. So here also we should put only 2, 4, 6. Okay. Now here we get multiple cases, people. You cannot directly put 3 here, 3 here. Why? If I use a 2 here, I cannot use 2 here. Agree? I hope you are understanding this part. Now, you start from either here or here. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer. Suppose if I start from here, I can fill it in 3 different ways. I can put a 2 or 4 or 6 there. Okay. But careful. Here, I can fill it in only 2 ways. Why? Since out of 3 digits, both the places will take the same 3 digits because they have to be even. So if I use 1 digit here, out of these 3, I cannot use that digit here. So there will be only 2 digits left over. Suppose, had I used a 2 here, I can use 4 or 6 here. Had I used a 4 here, I can use a 2 or 6 here. Had I used a 6 here, I can use a 2 or 4 here. So that's why here I can fill it in 3 ways, but here it will be only 2 ways. Now we are done with the external conditions. Now, rest of the part. Totally 6 digits are there. We could have used 1 digit here, 1 digit here. Totally 7 digits are there. I'm sorry. We used 1 here and 1 here. Still how many are there? 5 are there with us. So I can fill it in 5 ways because we have no condition in this place. Here 4, here 3, here 2. So when we multiply all these things, we should get our final answer. Let us see what we get. Here this is 4 into 3 is 12. Now let me take this as 5 into 2, 10. 2 into 3 is 6. 12 into 6 is 72. 72 into 10 is 720. And that is supposed to be our final answer and perfect answer. Our next question is based on mixtures and allegations and very basic level question, guys. Okay. Now, look what we have here. How many liters of 90% of concentrated acid needs to be mixed with a 75% solution of concentrated acid to get 30 liters solution of 78% concentrated acid? Well, forget about 30 liters for now. Now we have 2 types of acids. Let us call them as A1 and A2. In the first one we have 90% and the second one is 75% concentrated. Now when we combine both of them, the new mixture of these two acids, let us call it as A dash. So this should be 78% concentrated. Agree? So first we need to calculate in what ratio we have to mix them in order to get 78% concentration. So using the method of allegations, difference between 78 and 75 is 3 and difference between 78 and 90 is 12. So the ratio is 1:4, 3:12. It means if we add one part of first type of acid, there must be 4 parts of second type of acid. But remember, we need totally 30 liters. And the question is how many liters of 90% concentrated acid? So how many liters of A1 type acid? Okay. Guys, ratio is 1:4. So I can take it as this as X liters and this as 4X liters. Okay. Together, 5X liters should be equal to 30 liters. When I add these two, together it should be 30 liters. So 5 into 1, 5 into 6. So X equal to 6 liters. That must be our final answer because I took X as A1. A1 is 1:4, 1 into X, X, right? So this is the very basic question in mixtures and allegations, people. Well, you can watch our mixtures and allegations video in basic aptitude section where I have in detail explained all the different types of the questions that you can come across in mixtures and allegations. So if you watch that video, this question can be solved within 30 seconds, people. So our next question is based on clocks, which is actually blended with the geometry. Okay. So let us understand the question first and then try to get the answer. A question says, in a clock, the long hand is 8 centimeters and the short hand is 7 centimeters. If the clock runs for 4 days, find out the total distance covered by both the hands. Total distance covered by both the hands. Let me make you understand the question first. Let us assume this is a clock, people. We have both hours hand and minutes hand. This is hours hand, this is minutes hand, this is hours hand. Okay, smaller one and the bigger one. Now this is of 8 centimeter, but this is of 7 centimeter. Okay, so I made it slightly smaller. That is fine, guys. You should understand that this is 8 and this is 7. Okay, now if clock runs for 4 days, find out the total distance covered by both the hands. So total distance means, look, when it makes one rotation. Okay, so this is one distance, that is nothing but circumference of the circle. Now again, this will also make one rotation like this. This is another circumference. So first let us find out how many rotations or how many circles they form each, the hours hand and minutes hand. Okay, hours hand and minutes hand. Now starting with the minutes hand, hours hand, guys, totally 4 days. Hours hand make one rotation in 12 hours. One circle in 12 hours. If it starts at here 12 o'clock, to come back to 12 o'clock again, it will take 12 hours. So in a day, it will make a totally how many circles? 2 circles in 24 hours. In one day, 2 circles means in 4 days, it will make how many circles? 8 circles. Okay. In this case, minutes hand. Guys, minutes hand, if it starts from 12 to come back to 12 again, it will take exactly 1 hour. So in 1 hour, it can make 1 circle, means in 24 hours, it can make 24 circles. Agree? So totally 4 days. In 1 day, it is 24 circles. In 4 days, 24 into 4, which is 96 circles. Now we found out the number of circles made by each. But we need what is the total distance travel. Distance represents the circumference of each circle. Okay, circumference of each circle. The circumference of a circle can be calculated using the formula 2 pi r. Circumference, let me write it here. circumference is equals to 2 pi r, right? Okay. Now, in this case, 2 pi r is nothing but radius. Guys, if you observe, if this is the circle made by the smaller hand, the length of the hand itself represents the radius, that is given as 7 centimeter. Okay, so 2 pi into 7. This is one circle. Totally how many circles? 8 circles. So into 8. Okay, now here, totally 96 circles. One circle, 2 pi r. For bigger hand, the radius is its total length, that is 8. Into how many? 96. Now when we add both of them, that should give us the total distance covered by both the hands. So let us see. What do I have here? 7 into 8 is 56. 56 into 2 is 112. 112 pi. Plus, in this case, what do we have? 2 into 8 is 16. 16 into 96, that is 1440. Plus 16 into 6 is 96. So that should give us a totally 1536. So when we add both of them, 1536 plus 112, that should give us 1648 pi. So this is the total distance traveled by both the hands. Do we have the option? Yes, absolutely. Option number B. Our next question is based on time and work. Let us see what does our question say here. A can finish a work in 18 days. B can do the same work in 15 days. B worked for 10 days and left the job. Now, in how many days A alone can finish the remaining work? Okay, very simple question, guys. There are two people, A and B. A can finish a work in 18 days when he works alone, whereas B can finish the same work in 15 days when he works alone. Now, first step, let us assume the work. LCM of 18 and 15 is 90. 90 units is our work. Speed of A, work by time, 90 by 18 is 5 units per day. Last, B. Speed of B, 90 by 15, work by time, that is 6 units per day. Okay. Now we know that B worked alone. B worked for 10 days and left the job. So it means initially B alone worked. And how many days A alone can finish the remaining work? Okay. Now work done by B alone is the speed into time. Work is speed into time. Speed of B is 6 units per day into time. He worked for 10 days. Days get cancelled. 60 units are done. Okay. So in the first 10 days, B alone finished 60 units. Next, who works? A. Now work done by A. Remaining work A will be doing after B left. That is after 10 days. So out of 90 units, 60 units are finished by B, means A should be doing 30 units. Now we need to calculate what is the time taken by A. Time taken by A is work by speed. What is the work? 30 units divided by speed of A is 5 units per day. Units cancel. That 30 by 6 is 6 days, and that has to be our final answer. So let us understand one last question that we have in the paper. Apple cost L rupees per kilogram for first 30 kgs and Q rupees per kilogram for each additional kilogram. If the price of 33 kilograms is 11.67 and for 36 kilograms of apples is 12.48, then the cost of the first 10 kgs of apples is, okay. Guys, for 30 kilograms, price is L rupees, okay. For 30 kg, price is L rupees. And then onwards, after 30, for every 1 kilogram, the price is Q rupees. Now he told us if the price of 33 kilograms is 11.67. 33 means we have to divide it into 30 plus 3. Okay. 30 apples. What is the price of first 30 kg apples? L rupees. So 30 apples plus 3 apples. Okay. So 30 apples is L rupees plus Then onwards, each apple cost Q rupees. So totally 3 apples are there. Totally 3 apples are there. Each apple 3 rupees means 3 apples will be 3Q. This totally is given as how much? 11.67. And then onwards, for 36 kg, it is a 12.48. Now, like here, 30 plus 3 we took. Next step, we should take 30 plus 6 apples, 36 apples. Again, for 30 apples, it will be L rupees. Now, 6 apples this time. 6 into each apple will be Q rupees after 30. Now, this is the price given as a 12.48. Then, the cost of the first 10 kgs of apple, it means we need to get the value of L. We need to get the value of L means we should cancel Q. What I do, I'll bring this equation here by multiplying with 2. Why? Here I have 6Q. To cancel it, I have to convert this 3Q to 6Q. What do we get here? 2L plus 6Q, 2 into 3Q, 6Q equal to 2 into 22, 23, how much? 23.34 we should get. 2 into 11.67 is 23.34. Now, when I subtract this and this, so this becomes minus, minus, minus. Okay. So, L minus 2L is minus L. These two get cancelled. Now, subtracting 12.48 from 23.34 means we should get the value in negative terms. Okay. So, 23 minus 12 is 11, but that becomes a 10.34 minus 0.48. So, that should be another 14. So, this should give us 84. This should give us 84. Am I right? Yeah, 84. Now, what is he asking? Now, both negative becomes positive. So, L is equal to 10.84. Okay. But guys, L is the price of 30 kg. L is the price of 30 kg. So, first 30 kg, it is same price. Okay. But we want for only 10 kg. We want for only 10 kg. So, for 30 kg, it is 10.84 because L is the price of 30 kg. So, for 10 kg, what do we do? So, this is 30 kg. For 30 kg, L, 10.84. For 10 kg, we have to divide it with the 3. So, when I divide it with the 3, we should get 3 into, let me write it separately for you, 10.84 divided by 3. So, what should it give? 3 into 3 is 9.61 something. What is the closest option in the given options? 3.5, and that must be our final answer. So, this is end of our model paper 2. Well, if you observe, the level of the questions are slightly increased. Not slightly, in fact, they have increased to people. Now, here in this paper, we have questions which are based on multiple choice as well as non-multiple choice. So, in the non-multiple choice in TCS questions, you will have to find the answer and you have to give the final answer directly. Okay. So, those questions will actually carry more marks compared to multiple choice, guys. Okay. So, well, the link for the second one will be provided through the WhatsApp group. Okay. Model paper 2 or model paper 3. The link will be provided through our WhatsApp group. So, if you haven't joined our WhatsApp group, people, the link is provided in the description below. You can join those groups so that you will get everyday updates like when do you get the mock test and when do you get its solutions. Everything will be provided in the WhatsApp guys. So apart from that, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and please do visit our website and download our app, people. So, you have much more content to prepare in those website and the app if you are actually preparing for not just a TCS, even for other competitive exams. So, that's all for the day. Warmer signing off. Thank you so much, guys.